Good morning, friends. Hello, all y'all. Welcome back to some Sunday Shenanigans with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308, and our ASOC prod, Cat, here. We're going to be playing some Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. And we would like to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat. Just Me Crystal, hi. Hi Master Rasta 420, hi Lockpick. Mwah. Good to see all of y'all. And I'd like to start today with today's shout out, of course. Today's pre-rolls are brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, Virginia. 105 West Main Street on the downtown mall, above the bricks, Suite 200, between 10,000 Villages and Hamilton's. Where the only thing better than their bud is their customer service, and they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own independent research, which is probably highly biased. We are smoking one of their blacktop pre-rolls, which are, in my opinion, the best deal going in town. They are personally supervised. Their manufacturers personally supervised by by one of the owners, and he likes to make sure that each and every one of them is good enough for him to smoke because he's gonna smoke them. Not every one of them, but he wants to be able to smoke his own blacktop pre-rolls, and he wants the price point to be low enough that anybody in the community can afford them. It is an admirable goal, I think. Make something good enough that you want it, but also make it cheap enough that everyone can have it. Smooth, so smooth, and it hits just right every time. Well, good morning, Kat.
Good morning.
What news have you for us from the Pokemon tournament field?
Today's the Jefferson Gym's quarterly Pokemon Go tournament, but it's also their trading card league day. So their event space is going to be very crowded and busy in about an hour and so.
Well, all right. I can't wait to hear your report next week.
I will have a report next week because I actually get to compete this week.
All right. Well, all right. So we're gonna try and blast through today's game so that we can get out of here in time for Kat to attend her tournament. So let's get to it, eh? Kat, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. All right.
Uh-oh.
All right, you've got background music playing over top of that.
I understand exactly what's going on.
There we go.
Oh, I'm fixing this.
Okay.
For all the streaming,
All right.
gaming, and interneting
Can you hear?
you need Xfinity Internet. And
So this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News
You hear me?
Quiz.
Yep.
This must be the Land O'Lakes, because my voice is like butter.
All right, that's a good one.
I'm Bill Curtis, and here's your host at the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Peter Sagal.
you, everybody.
Kat, you may need to make sure you're closer to your mic.
Back in Minnesota.
Okay.
Right? A heretofore little-known state that, thanks to Governor Tim Walz, could end up being home someday to the official vice presidential winter retreat. That is an ice fishing hut on Rainy Lake. Later on, we're going to be talking Minnesota style with celebrity interior designer Nate Berkus, who grew up here. But first, it's your turn to help color coordinate the news by playing our games. The number is 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Let's welcome our first listener contestant. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, Peter. This is Jody Davis calling from Gaines, Michigan.
Hey, Jody. What do you do there in Gaines, Michigan?
I'm a veterinarian.
You're a veterinarian?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Right. So are you like a standard dog and cat veterinarian, or do you do the exotics?
So I did standard vet stuff for 10 years, but now I have worked for 12 years for a pet food company.
Oh,
Pet
wow.
food company.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, wow. One of the good ones, I hope.
You're
Of
not,
course.
You're not turning the pets into food, right?
No, that's a different animal. Jody,
Oh,
let me introduce you to our
that's-
panel this week. First up, it's the comedian you can find most days saving big money at his local Menards. It's Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yep, that's
Oh,
Bobcat.
yep.
Ooh, fun. I love
Next,
Bobcat
it's the
Goldthwait.
comedian you can catch on YouTube on the new show, Wait a Minute. It's Joelle Nicole Johnson.
Oh, hi, Joelle.
And you can see him on the Wait Wait stand-up tour. It's September 5th through the 8th, and at the High Plains Comedy Festival in Denver from the 19th through the 21st. It's Josh Gondelman.
Hey, Josh.
Jody, welcome to the show. You're going to play Who's Bill this time. Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 quotations about this week's news. If you can correctly identify or explain 2 of them, you will win our prize, the voice from anyone from our show. You might choose for your voicemail. Are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
Our first quote is a commenter on a New York Times story this week.
People without kids are saying, suck it up, losers.
That person was
Okay.
responding to a new warning from the Surgeon General that what is dangerous to our health?
Children.
Children?
Children, yes. Children are dangerous to our health. In
Yeah.
this new op-ed in the Times, our
Well,
Surgeon General
there you
says
go.
we have a new national health crisis caused by the stress of parenting. It's an announcement that shocked everyone except people who have children,
Yes.
are children, or who have ever met a child.
Yes.
So the Surgeon General, whose heart is absolutely in the right place, is calling for steps to both help struggling parents and to make other people more aware of the stresses involved. So from now on, when a doctor slaps a newborn on the butt, he will be attaching a warning label.
Yeah, what surgery do you get if you have kids?
Well, I'd suggest a vasectomy, but you're too late.
Usually, like, catch across a highway.
Yeah. I got a hysterectomy last year, and yes. And I usually ask men in the audience what a hysterectomy is, and like 3 out of 4 y'all do not know. So I feel like men shouldn't be able to vote.
I know what one is because immediately after I was born, my mother had one. She's
Tim.
like, this evil spawn.
Thanks, Bobcat.
This is a little bit of a double standard, right? Because the Surgeon General thinks that kids are hard to be around, and it gets right in the Times. But when I tell my friends their kids are hard to be around, they get mad at me. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I know.
Now we have a doctor's note.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, your next quote is someone's drink order that was posted on Reddit.
Triple iced espresso with 2 pumps, white mocha in a grande cup
Oh,
with extra ice.
Now, according to financial experts, it's complicated orders like that that may be the reason that what big chain is in trouble.
Starbucks.
Starbucks?
Starbucks, exactly right, yes. Turns out that the reason that there is always a very long line and
Yep.
very stressed out baristas at your local Starbucks may be because how much they have expanded their menu over the years. Between all the choices of flavors and sizes and varieties of beverages, according to Bloomberg, this is true, there are nearly 400 billion possible drink combinations. Just, according to math. That's why instead...
Nature is so beautiful.
That's why instead when you get your cappuccino, instead of a little leaf drawn on the foam, it's just the message, help me. So here's the thing. According to a financial analysis of the company, the problem is that investors are constantly demanding more growth, and that means they have to offer more products, and that overwhelms the staff. And this is true. It has actually created a new demand for coffee shops that just serve coffee. That's all people want. Just have a cup of coffee. And why stop there? Why not a line of cafes that serve nothing? No lines, no annoying tip screen. They just mispronounce your name and you go home. Jody,
I
here
love
is your
it.
last quote.
It's a shame that we humans are in the middle of this.
So that was a scientific researcher talking about how they and their colleagues have finally figured out why killer whales have been attacking what?
Boats.
In the Atlantic Ocean.
Yachts.
Chips?
Ships, yes, they've been attacking ships, yachts, and boats. Very good. Scientists have been working on this problem.
It's
of
like he heard
orcas,
all of us say
attacking
it.
yachts off the coast of Spain. The good news is they are no closer to stopping it than they were before.
I was going to say, working on this problem, it sounds like they're observing a solution.
I know, exactly. Can we encourage them? Is that the question they're trying to solve? No, but they do have an explanation. The orcas, and I am deadly serious, are using the boats to practice hunting. This comes from a group called the Bottlenose Dolphin Research Institute. So first of all, guys, stay in your lane.
Right?
But they say that to orcas, boats look like bluefin tuna moving through the water, and they love to eat bluefin tuna. So they've been practicing hunting the tuna by attacking the boats, right? That's what's going on. Think of the lives and property we could save if we just developed Orca DoorDash.
I would call it Subhub. An undersea delivery service.
I don't, this doesn't hold water. The idea that, like, orcas are, like, going, hey, that yacht looks like a tuna.
Pretty much.
If I saw a tuna the size of a yacht, I'd just crap right there and there.
Well, it's but to them it's close enough, and they can practice their technique. But that is amazing. This is the revelation. Wild animals practice. Who knew? Do they have coaches? Like the orca coach, like, all right, team, good work. Don't mind the people on the yacht screaming in terror. All the other humans are rooting for us.
Yeah.
So the orcas are attacking rich people on yachts?
Yes.
I didn't know orcas were people of color.
They are half black.
They're half black. Bill, how did Jody do in our quiz?
Jody was perfect. She got them all right.
Hey, Chris.
Congratulations, Jody, and thanks for calling.
Thank you, Peter.
Bye-bye. Right now, panel, it's time for you to answer some questions about this week's news. Joelle, 10 different rescue teams had to scour a Colorado mountain range for 2 whole days searching for a lost hiker who was left behind by his group. What was that group doing up on the mountain?
In Colorado?
In Colorado.
On top of the mountain.
A lot of mountains
And
in
they
Colorado.
left somebody.
Yeah.
They were
But
getting
again, They should
high.
have just stuck with trust
Yeah.
falls in the break room.
They were bungee jumping off the mountain?
It was
Where do you
team
think,
building
like, trust
exercise.
Yeah.
Not on a mountain? Trust falls happen in a break room with people who have jobs.
Right, and what do sometimes people who work together go do?
I don't know. I don't have a job.
I should have remembered that before I asked you. Does anybody else know?
I'm going to say a work retreat.
Yes, it was an office team building exercise.
Did you say that?
Wow.
I would have never got
I said
there.
work retreat.
15 people from an
I'll give
office
it
set
to
out
you.
to climb a mountain together to help build cooperation, mutual reliance, and bonding, except apparently for that loser, Brian. Anyways, Park-service rescue teams got word of an overdue hiker when the other 14 employees came back down without him.
Turns
And
out
this is
he's
true.
the guy who
lost
leaves his
guy
fish
had
in
texted
the
his colleagues. He had
in the
still had cell phone
microwave.
service at that point. He said, hey, I don't know where you guys are. And they said, dude, yeah, we saw you went down the wrong way. You have to climb back up again and then go down the right way. And then they kept going down without him.
No.
Wow.
Overdue hiker is a pretty gentle term for might be dead on a mountain.
Exactly.
Right?
And then a storm came in, and it was really hard to find him. Like I said, 10 different search teams went to go out and find him, helicopters, aircraft. They found him about a day later, hungry and bruised from his falls, but alive. And the county search and rescue officials said the incident might lead to, quote, awkward encounters at the office
No
in the coming days
kidding.
and weeks.
I believe I would sue that company.
Probably.
See,
Yeah.
I got
What,
that
though,
joke
you know who's real
first.
tight knit is those 10 search teams.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
This was secretly a team building thing for them. They flipped it.
Wow.
Coming up, find out who was right all along. It's our Bluff the Listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR. This message, never frozen.
Here, a lot of statistics. Message comes from
Sponsor Viking, committed nations across France.
We are playing this week with Joyelle Nicole Johnson, Josh Gondelman, and Bobcat Goldthwait. And here again is your host at the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
You know,
Peter Sagal.
I think it's kind of crazy how much his voice both does and doesn't sound like
Now
it
it's time for the
does
Wait,
in the
Don't Tell Me
movies.
Bluff the Listener game. Call
I know.
1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play the game on air, or you can check out the pinned post at our Instagram
We're in commercial,
page.
but
That's
because
at
you're
Wait, Wait, NPR. You'll
on
find
a
all
time
the info
frame,
you need
I'm
there,
gonna
plus
go ahead and,
attractive photographs. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
we're going to go ahead and go through it.
Rhiannon? Well, hello.
Yeah?
What a pleasure to meet you. Are you the person the song is about?
I am not. It's a lovely song, but my name's Rhiannon because it's a Welsh name.
Oh, I
Many
see.
generations of Joneses have lived there.
Can I suggest, I don't know you, but just as a helpful tip, the next time somebody asks that question, just say yes. Rhiannon, welcome to the show. You're going to
Wow,
play a game in which
Peter.
you must try to tell truth from fiction. Bill, what is Rhiannon's topic?
I can hear that she
Told
didn't
you
like
so.
that.
Everybody loves being proven
Yeah.
correct, whether it's you're going to regret those white jeans or, sir, literally anyone would be better than J.D. Vance. This week we heard about somebody who was right all along. As it turned out, our panelists are going to tell you about it. Pick the one who's telling the truth. You'll win the waiter of your choice on your voicemail. Are you ready to play?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. First, let's hear from Bobcat Goldthwait.
If you went to a carnival in the Midwest 10 years ago, perhaps you had your fortune read by psychic wonder pig Sir Francis Bacon. Country fair guests would pay the pig's owner, Mark Sparky Jaquin, to have Francis tell
You
them their
said
future
fake?
through a series of yes or no
No,
snorts.
fake.
Francis' knack for predicting the future was impressive. It was lucrative enough.
What did you say?
Sorry. I was laughing at the name Bacon.
Oh, okay. Sir Francis Bacon, yes.
Enough money to invest in the stock market. Things fell apart for the two, though, when in 2014, Francis warned Sparky not to invest in Blockbuster video stock. He ignored Francis' squeals, and when Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy within the year, Sparky lost his life savings. Normally, once a Wonder Pig got too big for the road, it would be retired to a processing farm, and that would have been Francis's fate, except Sparky felt so bad for not listening to the pig that they became roommates. Sparky and Sir Francis Bacon now share a Tampa Bay, Florida condominium.
A psychic pig correctly predicted the end of home video, but sadly was ignored by his owner. Your next story of smug satisfaction comes from Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
When a crew was dismantling some old columns in the Sainsbury wing at London's National Gallery, they found more than just a bunch of dust and whatever else columns are made of. They found a time capsule of sorts, but it didn't contain a family photograph or a treasure map for the Goonies. It was a nasty note. 30 years ago, when the wing was being built, the funder of the expansion, Lord Sainsbury, was displeased with the architectural aesthetic of two giant false columns that served zero structural purpose. He let this displeasure be known in a letter he typed on his supermarket notepaper and buried in the column for a future demolition crew to find. A man after Kanye West's heart. The note was typed in all cap locks. He wrote, "Let it be known that one of the donors of this building is absolutely delighted that your generation has decided to dispense with the unnecessary columns. Finally, one old dead man is happy with the kids these days."
I really want that to be true, but I don't think it is.
The late Lord Sainsbury gets the last word about those ugly columns in the museum he endowed. Your last story of someone telling you so comes from Josh Gondelman.
After a professional disagreement with a colleague resolved in her favor, acclaimed neuroscientist Dr. Lydia Kellogg muttered her usual refrain, "Hate to say it, but I told you so." The coworker snapped back, "Oh, you love to say I told you so. Everyone does, but you especially." Much like a pair of rusty forceps, Dr. Kellogg has trouble letting things go. So she set to work conducting an experiment to prove that she was right when she said that she hates to say that she was right. Much to Dr. Kellogg's delight, "I told you so" ranked as only the 98th most enjoyable phrase, barely ahead of the lowest scoring, "Wow, your uncle really has some thoughts about the Middle East."
Yep.
Upon publishing the results of her study, Dr. Kellogg couldn't help ignoring her own research to greet her colleague with an exuberant, "In your face, loser!" And this time, she did enjoy saying it.
One of these stories of the satisfaction of finally being
I
correct.
want both the last
was in
ones
the
to be
Newsweek
true.
This week. Was it
I'm
from
going-
Bobcat, a prognosticating pig?
I'm
who
going with
finally was
Bobcat,
thanked
though.
for
I'm
being
going
right
with A.
About the fate of
All right, I'm gonna
Blockbuster.
go with B.
From Joyelle
All right.
Nicole Johnson, the Lord Sainsbury of the supermarket chain in Britain, being correct, as he proved by putting a note in the columns that he paid for, celebrating their demolition, or from Josh Gondelman, a doctor who proved that, yes, she actually hates to say so,
God, I want it to
but
be that
she was right
too.
all along. Which of these is the real story of
I want them all to be
vindication we
right.
found in the week's news?
Those are all great, but I think a man leaving an angry all caps note feels the most probable. So I'm going to go with Lord Sainsbury.
All right, you've chosen Joelle's story of the Lord Sainsbury. Well, to bring you the
Oh,
truth, we
you're
talked
right.
to somebody who had some
It's B.
knowledge of this particular subject.
It's the client's revenge, and it's revealed in this kind of pulling a rabbit out of the hat, or in this case, pulling a letter out of the column.
That was Blair Kamen, the Pulitzer Prize-winning former architecture critic for the Chicago Tribune, talking about Lord Sainsbury's revenge. Congratulations, Rhiannon. You got it right. You earned a point for Joyelle. And you've won our prize. The voice
Lord
of your
Sainsbury's
choice
Revenge.
on your voicemail.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Rhiannon.
Thrash
Thanks so
metal
much for
punk
playing.
band name.
Bye-bye.
That's a good one. I like the sound of that.
What was that?
I said that sounds good. I like the sound of that name for a band. Hello?
Hello.
Did it go through?
Did what go through?
You asked what I said and then it got real quiet.
Ah, yes. I was continuing to write down Lord Sainsbury's Revenge.
Ah, okay.
Yes, it is a great band name. It's almost like a thrash metal punk alternative, like late 90s alt band that has some thrash punk in it. Sort of on the lines of Smashing Pumpkins, except for closer to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see Lord Sainsbury's Revenge as. Or it could be a late aughts, early tens, electro-punk, synth-punk name. Sort of like Daft Punk. Except for more punky, less funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I hear Lord Sainsbury's Revenge. All right, back to the game.
Yes.
And now the game we call Not My Job. Nate Berkus acquired his design aesthetic growing up here in Minnesota, and since his early days as a resident expert on the Oprah Winfrey Show, he's become one of the most famous interior designers in the country with multiple home design TV shows, the latest with his husband, designer Jeremiah Brent. The only question is, if he learned it all here in Minnesota, where are the mounted deer heads, fish, and beaver for throw rugs? Nate Berkus, welcome home and welcome to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning. You found your love of interior design while you were very young, growing up here, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so how old are we talking?
Well, my mother was an interior designer here in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I have a younger sister and a middle brother, and our middle brother works in advertising in California, and he once coined our family phrase as what we did on the weekends as either shop or be left behind. So my mother would take us to auctions and antique malls and Stillwater and downtown Hopkins and all these places looking at old things and looking at antiques and vintage things. And my job was to carry the wallpaper books in from the trunk of her car to her home office. There's also a lot of home office.
That's true, yeah. So you started out both as an interior designer and as a gym rat early on.
Exactly, yeah.
So if I had met you at, say, the age of 10, would you
Right.
be like all about design and antiques and looks?
No, but I was definitely sidetracked if there was somebody was setting up for a garage sale on my way to the bus stop.
I'm picturing a young story, like almost a Forrest Gump-like serendipity, where Prince is putting up plaid all over his estate, and you're like, my man, Paisley, and then just walk away.
That was me. That was me. I'm actually Apollonian. I've more.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time
Paisley.
you ever designed something? You ever set up a room?
Yeah, no, I do. My parents gave me my own bedroom because I shared a room prior to that with my filthy younger brother.
The worst one.
No, but the first thing I ever was allowed to design was my own bedroom.
Yeah.
And I actually wrote about this years ago because it was such an interesting thing for me as a 12-year-old kid to be able to pick out. At the time, again, my mom was an interior designer, so, she had all the carpet samples and wallpaper books, and, she said to me, what do you want your room to look like? And I remember it was the 80s, and I said, I want gray, white, and red. And she was like, that's so ugly, though. And I was like, but it's cool. And so I remember, though, that it was agency. It sort of felt like I had the agency to pick my own environment. And I do think that that's why I've spent the greater part of 30 years helping other people create a home that means something to them. I think that is connected.
Interesting.
I think that's great. I do love the idea of you as you said 13-year-old?
12, yeah.
12-year-old.
Yeah.
Which is a 12-year-old, very rebellious age, that the source of your conflict with your mother was color palettes. Did she search your room when you weren't there and found illicit swatch books in your sock drawer?
Yeah.
You'd come home and she's holding up a Pantone
it was
catalog.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
No gay porn, just a wallpaper sample.
Now. I will say that as a 12 or 13-year-old, one of my conflicts with my father was about interior decoration and how I liked my room to look. And my dad was not okay with the Gothic look, with the neo-Gothic, with the, he was just not down. He was like, I got velvet and made myself black velvet curtains. And as soon as I was away from the house for long enough, he took them down and threw them out.
That sucks.
Yeah. He was not into the sort of the dark academic look that I was going for. And he would come in and turn on the lights and open the curtains and open the windows. And
Ew.
It was just complete. And it wasn't just disregard for the aesthetic that I wanted. It was an active disapproval of my aesthetic, my chosen aesthetic. He could not accept that from me. So, I mean, yeah, that is actually color palette can be part of that rebellion. Mm-hmm. You know? So, not to take something that's awfully funny and make it serious, but, you know. All right, back to it.
If your 12-year-old kid has wallpaper sample books hidden in his sock drawer, it's essentially the same as gay porn. Peter. However way you get there, the conclusion has got to be the same.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you, as a young man, was it hard to find, places to design? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to be in a band, you get a guitar. You know what I mean? Were you going, I think I could really fix up your ice fishing hut?
No, you know what though? Bobcat, actually, now that you ask. I was notorious among my friends when they would invite me over for a play date or sleepover, whatever, that I remember my friend Ronnie Swartz, his mother came home and Ronnie and I were hanging out and at their house, and I had pushed all the living room furniture into a different location. So, it wasn't, and she said, "Did you move my sofa?" And I said, "Yeah, don't you think it looks better like this?" And she said, "I do."
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
You and your husband are both hot. That has nothing to do with the question. I just wanted to say.
Okay. You don't think his head's a little bit big for his body if you look close?
Drag him.
The eyes are a little
What?
You're trying to redesign his face?
Wait, so since you're both designers, who wins? Do you have a chair in your house that you hate that you put there?
Okay, so here's the thing. If one person hates it, it's out. And we don't talk about it, and you can't try and sell it to the other person, and boy, can we sell to each other. So you can't, if I say I hate it, then the conversation's done, and vice versa.
Wow,
we will
that's
fight,
smart.
Beyond, really, really rip each other to shreds over who ate the last piece of pizza before we fight over a sofa.
That sounds like couples therapy.
Right?
It does.
I mean,
I think I'm understanding this right, having been culturally immersed for a day, but offering someone the last piece of pizza just so they turn it down so you can have it, that's Minnesota nice, right?
Yeah.
I got it.
Nate Berkus, we're delighted to have you here. We have asked you to play a game we're calling...
Yeah.
Try
New
some
York Nice is
exterior
not even
decorating.
offering it, saying,
So,
I'll
you
take
do
the guilt of
interior
having
decor.
to
We
offer
thought
it
we'd
to
ask
me
you
off
about
your hands.
Exterior decor,
Yeah.
namely tattoos.
Ooh.
Is it perfect?
Yeah, this is great.
So we're going to ask you 3 questions about tattoos. Get 2 right, you win a prize for one of
Okay.
our listeners. Bill, who is Nate Berkus playing for?
Martin Gardner of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Here's your first question. You ready? When Ariana Grande released her single 7 Rings, she celebrated by going down to the tattoo parlor and getting a tattoo of the 2 Japanese characters, meaning 7 and ring. 7 ring. One problem though, what was it? A, the tattoo artist inked a 7 next to a little portrait of Ringo Starr. B, the tattoo artist instead did the Japanese characters for Bad and Blood because Bad Blood is a Taylor Swift single that he preferred to any of her music. C, those 2 characters combined form a proper noun, meaning a small charcoal grill.
I'm going with
I'm
C.
going with C.
You're correct, yes. It was...
I wanted it to be B, but I was going
basically, I
C.
mean, it's like you try to get
Yeah.
something and it ends up just being like a hibachi. And,
Right.
All right. Next question. Tattoo artists sometimes make mistakes, like when a cannabis enthusiast asked for a tattoo of a pocket watch showing the time 4:20. But what happened? A, even though it's in ink and never changes, the clock is still always 4 minutes fast. B, he did the pocket watch with the lid closed, so you can't see what time it is. Or C, he accidentally drew it backwards, realizing afterwards that now the clock reads 7:40.
I think C.
I think you drew it backwards.
You're right, it says 7:40.
Wow. And to think I've been just selling bath mats all these years.
I know. Acing quizzes, I guess. Okay, anyway, last question. See if you can make this as perfect as everything else is.
Okay.
Sometimes a tattoo artist's mistake turns out to be a kind of happy accident, like in which of these cases? A tattoo reading Murphy's Law, i.e. the idea that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and he misspelled it Murphy's Law. B, an artist putting in the name of a man's new baby put Maya instead of the baby's name, Mara, but it turned out the doctor had made the same typo in the birth certificate. Or C, a woman got a tattoo of a forest which looked terrible, but it just so happened the tree trunks happened to form a UPC code that gets her the employee discount when she scans it at Nordstrom.
I want it to be D. I'm going with A.
I think it's B.
You think it's B, the matching typos? No, it was actually Murphy's Law.
It was.
He
Okay.
misspelled Murphy's Law. The client saw it and was utterly delighted. Bill, how did Nate Berkus do in our quiz?
It was almost perfect, but you still got 2 out of 3, which means you're a winner.
I feel like that, like the Murphy's Law tattoo going wrong
Berkus
is
an
just
acclaimed interior designer who is up to so many different
too
things. You can find them all
possible
at nateberkus.com.
to have never
Nate
happened.
Berkus, thank you so much for being on. Thank you, sir. Nate Berkus, everybody. Hometown hero. In just a minute, Bill has a stinky way to improve your skin in our Listener Limerick Challenge. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to join us on the air. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
This message comes from BetterHelp. It's back to school time. And even if you haven't been to school in a while, you can still learn a thing or two, particularly about yourself. Therapy can help you do just that by helping you discover your strengths, set boundaries, and adopt new coping.
In the following message, 100 street murals.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis. We're playing this week with Josh Gondelman, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Joyelle Nicole Johnson. And here again is your host at the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody. In just a minute, Bill serves up some deep-fried rhymes in our Listener Limerick Challenge game. If you'd like to play, give us a call at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Right now, panel, some more questions for you all from the week's news. Bobcat, according to a relationship expert, one of the signs that your partner may be cheating on you with a coworker is a sudden interest on their part in what?
The way they look.
That is actually part of it, but that's not the first thing you should be worried about. Remember I said, like, they might be having an affair with their coworker. If all of a sudden your partner is strangely really into what?
Staplers.
Whatever your work is about.
Work.
Yeah.
Yes, into their jobs. If they all of a sudden are really into their job, did your partner just get a promotion for excellence at work? That slut. According to a relationship expert consulted by the Daily Mail, exhibiting a sudden increased interest in work is a sign your partner might be cheating on you.
With someone that you
depend,
work
though.
with.
They're like, I have to stay late to balance the budget, or they're like, I have to stay late to balance someone on my body. Another sign, as you suggested, is if all of a sudden they're upgrading their wardrobe and their general look, right? If out of nowhere your partner is trying to improve themselves, the appropriate response is jealousy and suspicion.
You're not the slob I married.
Yeah, what's wrong?
I've never been more attracted to you, and I hate it.
Josh, if you've already watched everything on Hulu and Netflix, don't worry. Another company has announced plans for their own branded streaming network. What is the company?
Chick-fil-A.
You're exactly right.
You can hear the enthusiasm in my voice.
I would never guess.
Chick-fil-A, or as it's more commonly known, Popeyes for Jesus.
That means you'll just be playing reruns of Left
Announced
Behind.
that it was launching its own streaming TV platform filled with original programming. It's great news for anyone who's been looking for TV shows that you cannot watch on Sundays.
I'll tell you what, the interior design shows on that network are going to be ugly as hell.
I know, no.
Yeah.
It's true, actually. They are going, they say, to favor reality and unscripted shows. So just look for their makeover show, Straight Eye for the also straight guy, and Conversion Therapy Island.
No,
Mike
Peter.
Pence is on
No.
that island.
Oh!
If it's anything like their restaurants, liberals are gonna condemn it, but every now and then they'll go over and give it a try because it's really good.
Watch their shows if they're in an airport.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Josh, according to the Wall Street Journal, there's a new change in
Hurts,
office
doesn't
etiquette.
it?
People are writing brutally honest what?
Writing brutally honest.
Reviews?
Emails?
Boss reviews.
You're close.
Okay.
Not the emails. It's an email, but it's automatically sent because it is a.
It was an out of office.
Out of office message.
People are writing brutally honest out of office replies.
Wow.
Now, people are becoming more militant about guarding the work-life balance.
I don't even know what an out-of-office reply
I'll be away from my
is.
desk, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Oh,
It's
those.
all hard truths now. One man's out-of-office reply quoted in the Journal said, quote, and this is real, I am out of the office having way more fun than communicating with you.
Wow.
Right, my out of
Likely
office.
forget to email you back. Still, a
My
little
out of
elaborate. Why not
office
just
is
go
we're
with the simple,
looking
I'm out of the
for
office?
Schrodinger's
Probably at
cat.
your mom's house.
We may or may not find it. We may or may not get
I feel
back
like
to
if they're
you.
going to be rude, you might as well be more explicit, right? Like, I'm on a beach getting a sunburn on my butt cheeks because I fell asleep drunk and naked.
Jeez, Josh. What kind of fun do you have?
Coming up, it's Lightning Fill in the Blank, but first it's the game where you have to listen for the rhyme. If you'd like to play on air, call or leave a message at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT.
We're going
That's
in even.
1-888-924-8924. You can see us most weeks back at the glorious Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago. And come see the Wait Wait stand-up tour. That will be in Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, and Atlanta, September 5th through the 8th. For tickets and more information, just wander over to nprpresents.org. Hi, you are on Wait Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hello, this is James from Hoboken.
Jersey!
Hoboken!
Yeah, Jersey indeed.
Are you from there, or did you end up there, you know, as a transplant?
I followed my wife here. I'm originally from Chicago.
Hey!
Oh!
My mother
Culture
actually
shock.
used to work in the Chase building where you guys would perform in the
we,
basement.
we were there. Yes, they kept us in the basement there for many, many years. Jim, welcome to the show. Bill Curtis is now going to read you 3 news-related limericks with the last word or phrase missing from each. If you can fill in that last word or phrase correctly on 2 of the limericks, you'll be a winner. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, here's your first limerick.
It sounds like a daredevil bar trick. It's what vampires dread when they are sick. Though my breath is the pits, it might help with my zits. So I'm chomping on raw cloves of...
Garlic?
Garlic, yes. Some people, enthusiastically, are rubbing
Point
raw
cat.
garlic directly on their faces. The idea is that the compounds in the garlic will fight the oil buildup, right? Even more likely, though, the garlic and oil will combine until you still have zits, but now they're served with aioli.
Ew. No. No.
I feel like if your teen peers are already calling you pizza face, you don't want to introduce garlic into the equation.
Right. You don't want to introduce toppings.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that's bad. Here, Jim, is your next limerick.
It's a colorful hue I can spray on. Hints of dolphin blue blended with gray dawn. Like that coloring stick that is waxy and slick.
Crayon.
I'm applying the scent of a...
Crayon?
Crayon,
Yeah,
yes. The U.S. Patent Office recently issued a trademark.
I'm going to give
Crayola
that one to you,
for the
too.
scent of their crayons, which, according
We
to
both
the
got
company,
there
is,
at the
quote,
same time.
reminiscent of a slightly earthy
Because of
soap
lag.
with pungent leather-like clay
We said it
undertones.
at the same time.
Okay, I'm with you, but what about the leather? Leather? How many cows gave their lives to fill in that Paw Patrol coloring book?
I did love 3-year-old Al Pacino's performance in Scent of a Crayon.
It was great.
Very moving.
It was great.
Oh, he's quiet.
Yeah, it was great. All right, here is your last limerick.
With espresso, my good mood's not dropping. Now I'm buying with no signs of stopping. Through the aisles I stroll without impulse control.
Yep.
Now I spend too much when I'm out.
Shopping.
Shopping, yes. According to psychologists, if you're trying to save money, you should not drink coffee before shopping. Psychologists think that this might be because caffeine makes you excited and more, vulnerable to impulse decisions, or it might have nothing to do with that, and instead just come down to people going into stores and saying, "I'll buy anything you want. I just need to use your bathroom right now." Bill, how did Jim do in our quiz?
It's a perfect score for Jimmy. Come home. We miss you.
Welcome.
Aww.
Thanks so much, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
This message comes from NPR sponsor LinkedIn Sales Solutions. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, likely to convert. That's why SimpliSafe, to save 50% scores.
Sure, Bobcat and Joyelle each have 3, and Josh.
Safe. Now it is time for our final game, Lightning Fill in the Blank. Each of our players will have 60 seconds in which to answer as many fill in the blank questions as they can. Each correct answer is now worth 2 points. Bill, can you give us the score?
Sure, Bobcat and Joyelle each have 3, and Josh has 2.
Okay.
You said it like I'm behind in a soccer match.
That means, Josh, you're in second place, so you will go first. The clock will start when I begin your first question. Fill in
Ready?
the blank. On Wednesday, the Supreme Court declined to lift a block on the Biden administration's blank relief plan.
Student loan.
Right. On Thursday, the CIA took partial credit for foiling a planned terrorist attack on a blank concert in Austria.
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Dang
this
it.
week, over 4 million people were urged to evacuate before a typhoon hit the coast of blank.
Hawaii?
Right. On Tuesday,
Dang.
an outage caused thousands of AT&T customers to lose blank service for almost 12
Cell.
hours.
Cell phone?
Right. This week, Ron DeSantis backed off a proposed plan to blank some of Florida's state parks.
Close?
Not quite. Pave them to put in pickleball courts. On Wednesday,
That's worse.
That's worse. On Wednesday, Yelp filed a lawsuit against search giant blank.
Google.
Right.
Google.
On Tuesday, Travis Kelce and his brother signed a $100 million blank deal with Amazon.
Podcast.
Right. This week, teachers in charge
Wow.
of a science fair in the UK were
Right.
surprised when one student brought in blank as their project.
And one student brought
Nitroglycerin.
seasoning.
No. A nuclear reactor is the answer.
Whoa.
The student impressed everyone at the science fair when he showed up
All
with
right,
a
mine
miniature
was
version of
closer
a
than
nuclear
seasoning.
fusion reactor,
It
which
was.
successfully created plasma. Some other parents suspected that this was way too complicated for a kid, but little Mikey Oppenheimer said his family did not help him.
Yeah.
Bill, how did Josh do in our quiz?
6 right. 12 more points. Total of 14. You're in the lead.
All right. So, Bobcat and Joyelle are tied. I'm going to randomly choose Joyelle to go next. Here we go. Fill in the blank, Joyelle. On Tuesday, prosecutors filed an updated election interference indictment against blank.
Donald Trump?
Right. This week, Kamala Harris and her vice presidential pick, blank, sat down for their first joint
What?
interview.
To the window, to the wall!
Walls.
Well,
Yeah.
On Tuesday, the Kremlin added 100 Americans to a list banning them from entering blank.
The Kremlin.
Russia. Yeah.
Yeah, they just put their pictures
Right.
up next to the cash register at the front of the Kremlin. Don't let these people in. No, Russia in general, yes. This week, officials in Chicago confirmed they had found dangerous levels of lead in the drinking water at blank's office building.
NPR's.
No, at the Environmental Protection Agency's office building. On Wednesday, the Paralympic Games began in blank.
France.
Yes. On Monday, Pharma bro Martin Shkreli was ordered to turn over all copies of his one-of-a-kind album by blank.
Ooh,
Tay-Tay?
for the children.
Yes, Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh.
This week,
What'd you
lines at
say?
the Edinburgh Fringe Fest were
I said
around the
Wu-Tang.
block to get into a one-night-only performance of a show called Blank.
Wu-Tang.
Goldthwait and his Dutch Take America.
I'd watch that.
yeah.
No. The show is called, quote, a young man dressed as a gorilla, dressed as an old man, sits rocking in a rocking chair for 56 minutes and then leaves.
Do I get points because that answer is crazy?
No, we don't. But I will say that that is both the title of the show and a synopsis. That's all it is. It is a guy in a gorilla costume rocking in a rocking chair for about an hour. But if that's not great enough for you, stick around after the show is done to see the next big hit, man in a janitor costume sweeps the floor and locks up for the night. Bill, how did Joyelle do in our quiz?
4 right. 8 more points. Total of 11. Puts her in number 2.
All right.
You're 6 points ahead of me so
Silver
far.
medal, baby.
So, how many then does Bobcat need to win?
Bobcat, you only need 6 to win.
Oh, it's not going to happen. That's a pipe dream.
Okay, Bobcat, this is for the game Fill in the Blank. On Thursday, the U.S. Army rebuked the Trump campaign for filming in a prohibited section of blank.
The Arlington Cemetery.
Right. Following decades of civil
Man, I had
rivalry,
that.
the members of British rock band Blank
Oasis.
announced reunion plans. That's right. On Tuesday, the launch of Polaris Dawn, the latest mission for private space company Blank, was delayed.
SpaceX?
X.
Yes,
Yeah.
SpaceX. This week, wildlife officials in Missouri confirmed that a bald eagle thought to have been injured was actually just Blank.
Faking it?
No. Just, quote, too fat to fly. We've been there, people. According to a new study, over the past decade, the level of microplastics in our blanks has increased by 50%.
In our
A bloodstream?
No, in
Bodies,
our, I'm going to give it to you, brains. This week, a writer for the New York
Oh.
Times wrote that the best way to slow down
I'm
and
taking
take
that
in
one.
all the pleasures of life is to blank.
Get high?
Die.
No. No, it's to wear flip-flops. That's all you have to
Nope.
do.
It'll
Because-
also prevent you from getting hooked up.
I know. Well,
So
that's kind
die.
of the point. He says everybody, makes fun of you. They're maligned for wearing flip-flops in public. Anyone wearing them instantly dismissed. So you are free from other people's expectations and demands and the stress of urban life because no one cares about you. And of course, you literally have to slow down because, for God's sake, you're wearing flip-flops. Bill did
I say his answer correct. He said die. That
do well
worked.
enough to win.
He tried so hard. 4 right. 8 more points. 11. That means Josh wins.
Josh, who is not Minnesotan, but out of all our panelists today, seems the most that he could be.
Yeah.
Am I right?
People make that mistake frequently.
Yeah, I know. In just a minute, we're going to ask our panelists to predict what's the next surprising thing Starbucks might add to its menu. Wait, don't tell me. It's a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut
Somehow the
Productions.
dog has
Doug
managed to
Berman,
get
the
himself
Benevolent
shut
Overlord,
in the
Philip Goethe,
room.
Limericks, our
He
public address
doesn't
announcer is
know
Paul
how to
Friedman. Our tour
open the
manager
door
is
enough
Shayna
to get
Dahl.
out.
DJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program is produced by Jennifer
I
Mills,
think
Miles
Gandalf
Douglas,
did
and
it.
Lillian King. Special thanks to Blythe
Highly
Robertson
possible.
and Monica Hickey this week. Peter Gwynn always orders a salted caramel half-calf frap with extra fudge. Our vibe curator is Emma Choi. Technical director from Lorna White. Our CFO is Colin Miller. Our production manager is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Chillock. And the executive producer, wait, don't tell me, is Michael Danforth. Now, panel, what will Starbucks add to its menu next? Josh Gondelman.
They've dominated the field of sweet beverages, so it's time for savory. I got 3 words for you. Gazpacho.
No.
Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
It's going to premiere next year at the Minnesota State Fair. It's a cheese curd latte.
And Bobcat Goldthwait.
The McFlurry.
And if any of that
Drive
happens,
through
we'll ask you
do-it-yourself
about it.
coffee
Oh, wait, don't
Right.
tell me.
Thank you, Bill Curtis. Thanks also to Bobcat Goldthwait. Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
I like that answer too.
The staff and crew at the Orpheum Theater in Minneapolis. And our fabulous audience here.
That's good.
Thanks to everyone at Minnesota Public Radio, and thanks to all of you for listening out there wherever you might be. I'm Peter Sagal. We'll see you next week.
Da 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 da. This
is
is NPR.
This message comes from.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us, Kat.
Thank you.
I know you got to jump out the door and, or
Yes, effectively.
and go to your tournament. So,
Yep.
see you later.
See you later. One way or
not-
another.
Right. Not this evening for pool necessarily, but just
Yep.
in general. Thank all of y'all for joining us. Stick around for the raid. And it's time for me to say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.
Oh.